Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm in Atlanta at the Alliance Floor Covering meeting, and I'm with Ron Dunn, who's president and co-CEO. Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thanks.
So remind our listeners again a little bit about Alliance Floor Covering. You have, I believe, 4 brands, right?
We do. Well, we've got Carpets Plus Color Tiles, our mainstay, and then Carpetland is a very important group to us. Floorco is our direct-to-trade, and we've got a cleaning division, Clean Touch Pro.
So this is your annual meeting, and the attendance this year, is it up versus other meetings?
It's up substantially, which we're pleased by. I think part of that is the easy access to Atlanta. Weather actually kept a few folks out, but this is an easy city to get in and out of. And plus, the economy's coming back a little bit, so people are a little more optimistic and probably a little more willing to invest in some education right now.
Well, that was my next question is, how are your members doing? You've got basically a national coverage, right?
Yeah, we do. There's a couple pockets, mainly along the eastern seaboard probably, that are a little slower coming back. But for the most part, I hope this is not a repeat of last year where someone shuts the faucet off again come April. But the year's off to a fantastic start. And it picked up momentum in fall, and it's carried right through January and into February.
And so one of the things you've been doing today is you've been going through, reminding people the things that are working out there. If you don't mind sharing with our listeners a little bit, I know you go out there, you spend time with your members. You actually go in an RV and go and see them. Tell us a little bit about what some of your members are doing that's bringing in store traffic and increasing sales.
Yeah, sure. That was the focus this year, and we love going out to see the members. There's nothing like that, being in the stores and hearing their story. So the mainstay question that we asked this year is, how are you driving customers to the store? While the economy is coming back, the customers aren't coming in the way they used to. So what is it taking today to draw people in? What are some of the unique things you're doing? What are some of the traditional things you're doing? What are some of the new things that you're doing? We have a lot of great ideas. So we turned that into a book we call Proven Ways, with information that each of the members can feed off of. So it's kind of a best practices thing. As we said this morning to the group, to continue this comeback in the economy, to continue your comeback in the business, the rebound, it's going to continually draw customers to your store. What does that look like today?
And a big part of that now is the internet, right?
Yeah, that, without question. It's, I just turned 60 years old, okay? If I'm looking for something, I pull out my smartphone, I Google what it is. And our last purchase was a dishwasher. A dishwasher went out. So I immediately Google dishwashers, and Simon Bailey, our speaker this morning, said you got 3 seconds on the internet to decide. If someone's in 3 seconds to decide if they're going to examine your site a little more, they're moving on. And as we said, when they come to your store, you got 3 minutes. They're deciding in 3 minutes if this is a place that they want to continue to shop and possibly buy from, or they're already working their way to the door. So those first impressions are so important. And so we've given a lot of attention to that in terms of our websites and how we draw customers in, and even with social media part of it. And now you heard us talk about this morning is, hey, and the bottom line is, while floor covering is our business, we sell people. And so are you sharpening your people skills? Are you realizing that, hey, like anything else, you can fall into an old pattern that maybe doesn't work that well? How do you sharpen that up?
So the consumer's coming in now a little bit better informed than, say, 10 years ago. So that kind of changes the whole equation, doesn't it?
Yeah, we have a much savvier shopper today, without question. I put up some figures this morning where, some people like American Express and PricewaterhouseCoopers have done a lot of research into what's the shopping habits for consumers today. And 1/3 of today's customers in flooring don't leave the house until they've already picked out, they've already looked at product, they've already looked at what store to shop. Now another third will possibly go to a store first, but then they'll go back and they'll go online. So 2/3 of the shoppers today are using the internet to look at product and to look at more about your store before they make a decision.
So that's one of the benefits that you bring your members. Part of being on the internet is they can come into another store and showroom. They can go in and look at products and go back on the internet and check it. And the programs that you offer are private label, aren't they?
They are, and I think, I'll say kudos to our industry, because we have some good groups in this industry, and not all industries are like that. We have some people that have joined us recently that are now multi-industry owners of stores. We have a guy that just joined us out of New York that is also in another industry. And he's part of a group that he said there's no comparison to what this industry offers through the groups. And so kudos to our industry that we have groups that do that type of thing. To me, it's just logic. If I own an independent store, why wouldn't I hook up with a company that has all these people that wake up every morning doing things I don't have the time of day to research and source out and so on. It reduces the cost. It makes it easier. They're helping me cross a bridge that I want to get over, and they help me do it a whole lot quicker and easier than I could possibly do it on myself. That's very logical. We have some extremely strong retailers in this industry, and that's, I think, part of the reason why.
You know, John, your co-CEO, gave a presentation a few minutes ago and talked about product mix shift and what's selling, what's not selling. 46% of your sales are carpet. That's down a little bit from several years ago, but it's not because your carpet sales are on the decline. It's because you're selling more hard surface, right?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, hard surfaces, there was a trend starting probably right after the turn of this century, you know, around 2001, 2002, you could see it was coming. Back then, we were 80% carpet. Again, the technology that's gone into the products, the look that's gone into the product, the ease of installation. There were a lot of stores back then, and that wasn't that long ago, that were afraid to touch hard surface. Today, that's ludicrous to even think about that. But today, they're scared to get into social media or to do the web properly, and I think in the next few years that's going to be ludicrous to think that anyone ever thought that way.
You know, as the market recovers, there's more and more demand for installers. So what are your members doing to make sure that they have a nice couple of groups of go-to people for installation?
Yeah, that's the challenge in our industry, and I know there's a couple of people that are looking at expanding that, and we're very supportive of that. I had a meeting in my office, I think it was last month, about a new venture coming out of Dalton. What our members are doing today is, more than anything, they're concerned, unfortunately, and where do they turn? So you network, you go to the local schools and say, if you haven't picked a trade yet, consider this. Now, where do they go for training? Well, they can work as an apprentice underneath their installers, different things like that, but our industry needs to lift that bar in terms of, this is a good option. You want work, and you want good work, and we're working at people's homes and making it better. This is, it's a great option. You can make a very good living at it.
All right, so before we run out of time, just real quick, I know you're introducing some new products at the show this year. I noticed one of them is a Tough Decks pattern collection. What are you most excited about that you're showing your group this year?
Well, I applaud our mills for what they've done with product innovation. For what we just experienced in the uptick in upper end business because of what happened with soft yarn. Soft yarn that, watching a consumer's face touch that carpet, going, how could it be that soft and yet perform? And now to take that into more pattern goods, now to have this whole new spill-proof carpet gives our stores a lot of reasons to draw new customers in, to talk about something, to draw, special events into their store. It keeps the people on the floor excited because they got something new to talk about. So, there's collections of new products from the mills that we're introducing here that are going to re-energize, I think, at the retail level, which is important. And then coupled with that, we've given a lot of attention to the buying habits of people, what's the experience in the store, and how can you make your store a place that is educational? Because the end goal is have your customer make an educated decision so they feel really good about it. So is your showroom a breeding ground for education for that customer? Are you giving them all the options? Are you explaining things to them? So we've renovated our merchandising for that with a movement more toward upper end product. We've kind of segregated upper end product to give it a new look. So there's a lot that we're introducing at Exhibit Hall. We're excited about it. Our advisory board's been involved with it along the way. So we've had strong retailers with their say looking into it. I couldn't wait, so I took a few retailers down to give it a peek yesterday, and it's fun watching the smile on their face, and as they start clapping, going, this is what we needed. So this is an exciting convention for us.
All right. I know one of the things that you're rolling out is more LVT products, right?
Yeah. As John just showed out in his presentation, the number of jobs that have come into Georgia, the number of plants, the fact that we're taking it from overseas into domestic manufacturing is something we obviously want to get behind. Couple that with the fact that the innovation and the creativity that's coming out with that product and the great look, immediately we have sellable products.
All right, Ron, it's great to visit with you. Again, been talking to Ron Dunn at his annual meeting in Atlanta with Alliance Floor Covering, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.